on some level, we can communicate more than we've ever communicated before. You can message someone whatever time of day, 24/7. You can call someone, send someone a voice note, whatever it is. You can find a way of getting in contact with someone. On the flip side, when you're just sending a message or posting something on social media, you don't get the tone or how it's taken. A lot of what I post is tongue-in-cheek, and a lot of what I share is very much, I think I'm hilarious, but not everyone takes it that way. So you have to be careful what you share, and that comes down to them people are too careful, so they don't share. Hi and welcome to Business Rainbows and Unicorns, where there's no such thing as failure if you don't try. This podcast is specifically for business owners or wannabe business owners. Say you've got a side hustle, or you've got a passion for something and you think it'd be absolutely amazing, or you see people that do amazing things with their passions and what they enjoy doing. Well, you can do that. So please subscribe. It always helps a little podcast like ours. Listen along for tips, tricks and advice. You will just need to add your passion and spark to help you build a successful business. And we hope you enjoy listening to this episode. Hi and welcome to Breakout Business Rainbows and Unicorns, where there's no such thing as failure if you don't try. Now, that being key today for what we're talking about. So I just wanted to hop on quickly and talk about social media and my experience of social media, because personally, I've come off. When I say come off, I haven't come off. My profile's still up and everything, but I've stopped using Facebook basically on my personal page a couple of weeks ago. Now, there's been a long process leading up to that. And to be honest with you, it's all down to mental health. Because, so there was a quote or a post from on social media, ironic, I know, by Matt Haig, who posted in 10th September 22, social media is really not equipped for the complexity of humans and their feelings. Now, since setting up Breakout, we obviously do social media for a lot of different companies and our own. So we post every day. So on my personal account, I post a lot. And you will notice that if you look through my personal account, the posts are actually more about what I do, what's going on. I'll happily overshare, and if anyone knows me personally, I definitely overshare half the time. However, I still choose what I share. And the same on my stories. And I've done some testing over the last few years. And interestingly, I had a conversation with someone, because I cross-post as well between my personal account and my business account, depending on what it is, just to see what works and what doesn't. And I had someone approach me a couple of months ago, and they're like, oh, sometimes you post really controversial things and I want to reply, but I'm a bit worried about how it will be taken. And I think that's the issue. You've got some people that won't post anything because they're scared about how it's taken. You've got people that post exactly what they think. Now, going back to the quote or the post about it's not equipped for the complexity, since 2020, and it's funny, I see a lot of posts come up on this about people's anxieties, worries, not going out as much. So on some level, we can communicate more than we've ever communicated before. You can message someone whatever time of day, 24/7. You can call someone, send someone a voice note, whatever it is. You can find a way of getting in contact with someone. On the flip side, we don't meet in the pub at 5 p.m. on a Friday anymore. You don't have that chat. And that's where I think voice notes help in some respects, because you get the tone. However, when you're just sending a message or posting something on social media, you don't get the tone or how it's taken. A lot of what I post is tongue-in-cheek, and a lot of what I share is very much, I think I'm hilarious, but not everyone takes it that way. So you have to be careful what you share, and that comes down to them people are too careful, so they don't share. I've been posting some things that are quite, in a way they're seen as quite personal. They're not, because there's going back to I choose what I share. But also on the negative side of things. Now, we get a lot of followers and we get a lot of people coming in to use our services because actually they are quite comfortable. So you know what I look like because you've seen my reels or my posts. My face is all over the business account, and that's what I look like when you come into the business. We all know someone who, if they go missing, they ain't going to be found from their Facebook profile picture, are they? So love you all. However, it comes down to insecurities and anxieties, but it is a worry because people are not how they're portraying. So it's that age-old thing of you're portraying this amazing, wonderful, the best, the show reel of your life, when actually that might not be how you're feeling in real life. Now, the reason I say this is because in the 3 years since I've started Breakout, I can probably name about 5 or 6 people or groups of friends who have cut me off or ghosted me. These are quite close friends. I've messaged them, I've asked, are we all right? Yeah, we're all right. Which, words, absolutely fine. Or they've ghosted me and not even replied, separate issue. However, it's cut that communication, and it's very different saying something when your actions are saying something very, very different. So if your actions are saying something, why are we not communicating what's actually true in real life? Why are you not telling people? Why are you not writing those feelings down? Because surely that's easier to do than face-to-face, whether it's in a voice note, maybe not in a text, because again, it's tone, but why are we not communicating that? And I found when, especially on our business account, while I will not overshare, and some awful things have happened to us since we've opened Breakout, and I've not named names. I have put up posts, and most recently, where we're based is a very, very small town. So I found that competitors called us cowboys. Now, I'm all about collaboration. If you follow us, if you know anything about us, we're all about collaboration. We're all about and less about competition. I don't actually see anyone as our competition. So I try not to put anything too negative out there. However, I try and put real stuff out there. I try and say, do you know what? This week's been hard. And I posted up, if I haven't got back to you by Monday, I did this on Friday or Saturday morning, whenever it was, just give me a nudge because we've got a lot on at the moment. So it's all good. However, I know when our customer service slips, but it's just being real about it. At the end of the day, it's like I say to the team, we don't save lives. We're not doctors. We're not nurses. Whatever we could do can wait. It's not the end of the world. And if you have done something wrong or failed at something, it's actually about how you rectify it. How do you come back from that? How do you resolve the issue? How do you deal with the client? Because that is all part of your customer service. And the reason why that's important, social media is important or customer services is important, is actually because that's what we've got over online services. If you're buying from someone you've never met before, just on social media, and hands up, I've done it, whether it's online, you haven't seen the product, don't know the person, they don't have the customer service. So same as it walking into a clothes shop. You can buy clothes online. However, if you're walking into the clothes shop, that shopkeeper might help you out. Actually, this colour looks better on you. You can touch the product. You can feel the product. And that's what we've got up on just a straight online service. So the more real you can be, however, not negative, not passive-aggressive, and the problem is, and the key words are passive-aggressive, because you get a lot of people, and we all know them, again, the people who have tagged them in the hospitals, oh, I'm really annoyed today, and it ends up with, PM me, hun. And that's what I've tested. I've tested things mainly on my stories, because I don't need things out there for 24 hours, longer than 24 hours, because I'm not that kind of person. However, just tested and posted stuff just to get a real feel for what people actually interact with and what they don't interact with. So the thing is, it's sharing on your social media, so personal or business, but obviously we're talking more about business. It's sharing the right things. So it's being real about it, not sharing too much, not if you've had a really bad day, and unfortunately when you do own your business there are a lot of bad days. However, the good days do override that, and it's reframing it how you want to reframe it. So this way you don't look at what anyone else is doing on social media. Don't copy what anyone else is, because you're you, so you need to post as you would do for your business. Pros is collaboration. So we work with people that ultimately do the same thing as us. We recommend people that technically do the same thing as us, because we've all got different ways of working. And as well as different ways of working, there's different types of people that we gravitate to. Whereas on the flip side, you've got people that will see you as competition. And I always say it's like Google Ads. Unfortunately, pay per click, it'll be a lot more of your competition paying on your clicks. to see what you're doing and finding out more information, then hopefully you get a lot more customers doing that. So it's just keeping an eye out and do what you do. But if you're in your own lane and you're doing what you do, just stick to that, because there will be people that copy you. There will be people that are envious of you. And this is the biggest thing you've got to remember. I did a story over the weekend and I asked people what they want me to talk about social media. And it was negative comments. It was negativity. At the end of the day, people are only negative towards you because they're jealous or envious. Fact. Unless you've done something absolutely horrendous to someone, no one's going to be nasty. There's no reason to be. It just comes down to jealousy and envy, which is not a nice trait. Don't get me wrong, we all get jealous from time to time, and we all feel a bit like, oh my God, this isn't the best way of working, or it always feels where people are sharing their show reel that it feels like everyone's doing amazing and so much better than you. But don't get into that. Stop the scrolling. And that was one of my things. And coming back to why personally I've stopped using Facebook, it was too much scrolling. It was reading too much into things. It was going off on a tangent and putting myself into a hole, looking at everyone else's show reels and thinking the absolute worst, rather than actually communicating and having that conversation with someone. So there is a big negative side, and for people who use social media, as I say, on a daily basis, because we're posting every day, we're across different platforms. However, you just need to concentrate on you. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing, because you've gone into business and started that business because you're an absolute expert in your game, and you're an expert for a reason. Your business is started for a reason. You're doing really well for a reason. You've taken the next step. You've grown the business because of your raw talent and what you're amazing at. The negativity side of it is that's from outside influences. That's outside people. That's outside comments or nastiness. Now, one of the questions I had to talk about was negative comments on your posts, on your messages, whatever it might be. Now, we've solely built, or since day one, I've solely built Breakout on our reputation. I'm proud of our reputation. We've got 5-star reviews on Google. We've got the majority of customers go home happy. And that's all I ask for. It's all I ask the team to do is when you leave here, you are happy and satisfied with the service you've received. If not, I want to know about it. I want to hear feedback. I ask for feedback. Whether it's positive or negative, you want to know, because we always want to continually improve our service. We all do. That's why we're in business. If you don't, you're going to fall quite quickly, or it hinders your reputation. Now, one of the things was when we have had a negative comment, and this is, I guess, the question I've been asked to fill in, is when you get negative comments on social media, who are they from? Now, one thing is, and the easiest thing to say is just, move along, ignore it, carry on. We're human. That ain't going to happen. Let's be real with it. So actually, you want to look at that comment. Who said it? Number one, are they a customer? Do they use your services? Have they purchased from you? If it's a yes, well, if it's a no, then it's kind of you can fight back with positivity. Thanks for your feedback. Wish you all the best. Carry on, not a customer. If you want to highlight, we've had it recently, you want to highlight that they've not been a customer. Some people have, unfortunately, too much time on their hands and will write Google reviews when they've not used your business and put a negative one on. The flip side, if they are a customer and they have purchased from you, take a comment back. Why didn't you tell me this in real life? Why didn't you feed that back? It's the age-old thing. If you go into a restaurant, you have a bad meal, and you don't feed back then and there, why would you not say before you pay your bill what the issue is? And it's the same with every single service or product. Whether you're going in for a takeaway coffee, if the coffee's a bit crap, you might never go there again, but genuinely, if they're a local business, go in and tell them and just say, look, do you know what? I've had this coffee the other day. It wasn't great. Give them a chance to improve and learn. They might have been an off day, and hands up, I am always that person. My first thing will be, maybe they're having an off day. Everyone's entitled to an off day. Maybe they've got stress at home, whatever it might be. Maybe they've just had a customer come in and just shout at them. You just don't know what state everyone's in at the moment. So err on the side of caution. So if that customer has made a negative comment. They are a customer. They've bought from you before, but you don't know about it. So if you don't know about it, put that, reply to them and say, oh, you didn't mention this before. Do you want to have a message? So I had that. Customer put, definitely don't use Breakout. I didn't recognise the customer's name. So I said, look, can you tell me a bit about why you're so intent of people not using us? Like, we're a local business. This could hinder us quite badly. We ended up messaging back and forth. The long and short of it was, he didn't really understand the service we provided. We offered to help, but didn't charge him. But we said, look, if we do help, it could cost X amount. He went somewhere else. They fixed it like that. It was Y. It was a lot less money, but it couldn't have been. So we erred on the side of caution to give him a warning before we actually did the work. But that was him. Subsequently, he deleted his comment, and we all moved on. So while it's hard and it's horrible, and when I say comments on posts, on fixed posts, that's a worry, especially on Facebook, because it's there, and the more people comment, the more your reach goes up. Sometimes that's a good thing. I have told clients to misspell things on purpose, purely because grammar police love a misspelling. So if you do misspell something, your reach goes up. And actually, that person, 9 times out of 10, looks a bit of a dick for correcting a comma or a word, because we're not all perfect. Some people own businesses and they've got dyslexia. Just if you look at Jamie Oliver's famous for it, if you read his comments, you know when he's done them, because there'll be misspellings or grammar issues. But just roll with it. You don't need to pick that out. You've missed the point of the post if you're just picking out where there's a grammar or spelling issue. So there's that. There's also the fact that on a reel or on a TikTok video, whatever, when you've got comments coming in and in and in and in, there's trolls out there. There's people, and it'll be envy and jealousy, that are just being nasty to be nasty. They're the ones you want to ignore. As hard as it is, you've just got to visualise that person sat, typing away, and just firing negative comments to you. If they don't know you or your business, and they're writing a negative comment, they've got pretty much not got a leg to stand on. There's no reason for it whatsoever. So you do need to ignore it. Unfortunately, our human brains will pick up more the negative than the positive. And that's exactly what I had last week. I had, out of the blue, I had a message from someone I've known for 22 years, and bless her, she put really random message, but I just wanted you to know that my teenage daughter, who we live in the same area, we're still local, she goes, you're one of 3 people that I ask her to watch. And the biggest compliment was that she said, you're really successful and you've not turned into a bitch like most people. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a crier, I've got a bit of a heart of stone, but massive happy tears, because if you're going to have the best accolade you could possibly have is someone asking their son or daughter to look up to you. To me, that's a massive, massive thing. You're not going to get better than that. That child, they know, love, and they want every single success for, and they're asking them to look at me. That's like absolutely mind-blowing. So I obviously replied and said, and I actually then did a quick video on Instagram, quick reel, just basically saying, look, do you know what, if you can just send something to someone one day, just saying, oh, you're really good at this, or oh, this is amazing, or whatever it might be, honestly, just do it, because I can't tell you how appropriate that was at the right time. Because going back to it, I've been cut off and ghosted by a lot of close friends. To have someone who's known me for that long, because when it's close friends, you're like, oh my God, you're questioning your every being and your personality, your behaviour. What on earth have I done to make someone that close to me not want to have anything to do with me anymore? And that's a massive, huge thing. So then to have someone who we've never been best friends, close friends, not someone I'd go out for a drink with, but we've always been in the wings. Like, we'd always say hello, wave at each other, say hello to her children. And someone I admire from afar of being just a really good person. And I think sometimes you can't ask for more than that, someone being good. So she had no idea, but she sent it at, God, more than the right time. And for businesses and business owners, We haven't got that luxury or that compliment or whatever your love language might be of a paycheck at the end of every month. Some months you don't know. So the first 6 months I started this, I took £1 a day, maybe £10 a day. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't open your doors and suddenly make a lot of money. There's hard work and there's a lot behind it that what you can do. So you do everything you can to ask for help, ask for that support, and you really appreciate every single thing. So for you or anyone to send just a compliment, just something nice, whether it is a in-person message, audio message, whatever it might be, just send that out, just let them know, because honestly, I cannot explain how that will make their day. On the flip side of it, long story short, we found out that business we send quite a lot of business to has been putting us down and calling us names. Now, we're based in a very, very small town, very small area, so it's quite easy, and businesses work with businesses. Again, going back to I don't see anyone as competition, hence why I know our strengths and weaknesses, so hence why I've sent business their way. However, looking at the longer term strategy of that business, I'm not sending any business their way anymore. If it's not, I'm not even asking for it to be reciprocal. I'm just asking that you don't put my business down and me down, and that's, I'm laid back to a point. I'm also a bit too don't put the boundaries in necessarily, so I help people out. And then the last bit is comparison. There's such a huge issue with comparing yourself to other businesses. So similar businesses, local businesses, business you admire on social media. It's so easy to do, and it's such a massive issue because actually you can't compare yourself to anyone else because no one else is you. You'll find you'll do it your way and you'll find your own way of doing it, and you need to stick to what works for you. So you've done something, you've won some business, replicate that, do the same thing again. If you start comparing yourself to someone else and then try and do what they do, it's just never going to work. It's never going to look okay. So it will look weird on social media. I've seen it before where similar companies have popped up thinking, oh, that company's quite successful. And then they pretty much just copy what they do. Everyone knows it. Everyone sees it. Yes, they still get business, they will still get people going to them because that's how it works, but other people realise it. They will never be as successful, and also you cannot sustain trying to be someone else. You can only sustain being you. You can't sustain that level of keeping up with the Joneses. It's just not worth it. You just need to do it your way, how you work, and honestly, people will absolutely love you for it, and then you find your own tribe. If there was only one type of person, we'd only have Waitrose. We don't have Waitrose. We have Waitrose, Sainsbury's, Aldi, Tesco, and they all do really, really well, unfortunately, for some that I don't like. However, the biggest thing, and if you're ever worried or not sure, or even if you've come up with a business idea of doing, there's loads of them out there, the market's saturated, go into one of those supermarkets and stand in the water aisle. We get water for free in this country. It's literally on tap. However, if you stand in the soft drinks aisle, how many types of bottled water are there? That's it. It's just bottled water. They've not added anything. It's not special. So it's a product you can get for free. However, there's different marketing, there's different labels, there's different bottle shapes. So they've all found their own way of doing it. And I know people that will only drink Evian water. They're happy to pay. They don't drink tap water. That's all they drink. They're happy to pay for that. So that is Evian's tribe. Not me. But they still have a tribe. We could then go down a whole route of talking about marketing and pricing, etc., etc. But trust me, same as if you look at Fortnum & Mason, Harrods, whoever it might be, they still have a tribe and a customer base. So don't compare yourself and don't try and look at someone else, because actually it won't work for you. So I really hope that helps someone, and yeah, it's interesting. Feel free to go and stalk me on social media and see what worked and what didn't. Most interestingly, on my personal account is some of the reels where I've just randomly done the most random reel of roadworks, and it's got 20,000 views on it, which compared to when you worked really hard on a business reel and got 200, it makes you feel quite sad, if I'm honest. But anyway, obviously roadworks are more exciting, and the algorithm isn't a deep dark science as you would expect. So anyway, I hope this helps someone. Please drop us a message or comment or let us know, or if there's anything else you think, because trust me, as a business owner, there's nothing worse, especially if you're self-employed, that you thinking it's just me, maybe it's a me thing, I'm all alone. You're not. So feel free to ping into our inbox or get in touch, because trust me, we have probably been there, experienced it, lived through it, or probably going through it at the same time, who knows. So as always, thanks for listening. Please subscribe and share, and if you know of anyone that's having issues with social media at the moment, please send this to them, because if I can provide anyone with a bit of comfort and reassurance that actually it's not a you problem and time off of scrolling will definitely help, that's a massive bonus for me. And yeah, if there is someone you admire out there, please just drop a message and say how awesome they are, because as that age-old thing, people tell 10 people a negative experience and only one a positive. So it'd be really, really good to change that. So thanks for listening. Take care. See you next time. Thanks for listening to this episode. We really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please share with a friend who you think needs a bit of help with starting a business, or even their small business which they've already got going. Please like and subscribe to our podcast, which always helps a small business or small podcast like us. And check the show notes. We all have everything in there relating to the episode which you might need, might want to read, and links to anyone we've interviewed and certain subjects we've spoken about. And thanks for listening.